Imagine sitting in a crowded restaurant, laughter and clinking glasses all around you. Suddenly, 12 men, hardened, scarred, and unmistakably military, rise from their seats and surround the table where the city's most powerful CEO sits. The air turns heavy, people stop mid-bite, waiters freeze, and all you hear is the shuffle of boots on polished wood. No one dares to breathe. And just when the tension feels like it's about to explode, one man, a single father, a quiet veteran with his little girl's picture in his wallet, rolls up his sleeve, and a tattoo on his arm stops everyone cold. What happened next changed every life in that room forever. Ethan Cole never wanted attention. He had served 8 years in the Marines, returned home with scars, some on his body, most on his heart, and all he wanted now was peace. Peace for himself. Peace for his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, whose mother had left years ago, unable to handle the silence that war left in Ethan's eyes. That night, Ethan wasn't supposed to be at that restaurant. He couldn't afford it. He was only there because his buddy Jake, another veteran, had insisted. "Come on, man. One night out won't hurt. You need this," Jake had said. Ethan gave in. Mostly because he didn't want to keep telling Lily, "Daddy's too tired." He wanted to try and be normal again. The restaurant was glowing, filled with businessmen in suits, couples celebrating anniversaries, and the quiet hum of wealth. At the center table sat Richard Holbrook, a billionaire CEO known as much for his arrogance as his power. He laughed loudly, boasting about the empire he built, about how no one could touch him. But in the shadows of the room, 12 men, massive, rugged, carrying the stillness of soldiers, watched him with eyes that burned. Ethan noticed them first. Veterans could always sense other veterans. The way they moved, the way their hands never fully relaxed, scanning exits, measuring threats. It was ingrained. But these men weren't watching the exits. They were watching Holbrook. Then it happened. Chairs scraped back in unison. The 12 men stood and walked slowly, deliberately, forming a circle around Holbrook's table. Conversations died instantly. Forks dropped. The CEO, mid-sip of wine, looked up, his smile faltering. Holbrook tried to laugh it off. "Gentlemen, what is this? Some kind of performance?" But no one laughed. The tallest Marine leaned in, his voice low and hard. "You think you can forget, don't you, Holbrook?" The CEO's face drained of color. The room buzzed with unspoken panic. People reached for their phones, but waiters shook their heads, frozen with fear. Jake grabbed Ethan's arm. "Don't get involved, man. This isn't our fight." But Ethan's gut said otherwise. He recognized the fury in those men's eyes. It was personal. And then he saw it, the CEO's hands trembling. Holbrook wasn't just afraid of them. He knew them. As the Marines closed in, Ethan felt Lily's picture burning against his chest from his wallet pocket. He thought of her, waiting at home, drawing little stick figures of the two of them. And something told him, if he stayed seated, if he stayed silent, this night would end in a way no one could undo. Slowly, Ethan rose from his chair. The 12 Marines didn't notice him at first. Their eyes were locked on Holbrook, who stammered something about lawyers and misunderstandings. But Ethan didn't speak. Instead, he walked closer, his boots clicking against the polished floor until the circle widened just enough for him to step in. "Sit down, buddy." One of the Marines growled, his voice warning. But Ethan kept walking, calm, steady, silent. Then, without a word, Ethan rolled up his sleeve. The room gasped, not at Ethan's scars, though they were plenty. Not at the bruised knuckles of a man who'd fought too many fights, but at the ink on his arm, a black ink tattoo weathered by time, but unmistakable. It was a unit emblem, their emblem. The Marines froze, every single one of them. Eyes widened, jaws clenched, and for a second, the anger melted into something else: recognition, respect, and pain. The leader stepped closer, staring at Ethan's arm. His voice cracked. You were one of us." Ethan nodded once, quietly. "Fallujah, 2004, Charlie Company." The leader's lip trembled. He swallowed hard. We lost brothers there." Ethan's voice carried through the hushed room. "We all did." He turned his gaze toward Holbrook, who now sat shaking, his wine glass tipped over. "But if you think vengeance is going to bring them back, you're wrong. It'll only bury us deeper." The Marines shifted uneasily, their rage colliding with the weight of Ethan's words. Ethan stepped closer to the CEO, his eyes burned into Holbrook's. "You used us. You used them," Ethan said, nodding toward the circle of Marines. "Contracts, promises, lies. And when the dust settled, you walked away richer, while they buried their brothers." Holbrook's face was slick with sweat. I didn't mean." "Stop!" Ethan cut him off. I'm not here to defend you. But these men don't need another war. They need peace. Same as me. Same as every soldier who came home broken while you cashed checks. The leader's fists clenched. Tears pooled in his eyes, hidden by shadows. He looked around at his men, their anger cracking into grief. Ethan lowered his sleeve, his voice softening. We've lost too much already. Don't make this night another story our kids will have to carry. The silence was deafening. For a moment, no one moved. Then the leader nodded slowly. One by one, the Marines lowered their heads. Stepping back, breaking the circle. Their boots retreated, heavy but reluctant. Holbrook collapsed into his chair, shaking, whispering apologies no one cared to hear. Ethan turned and walked away. His heart pounding. Jake exhaled in disbelief. Man, I thought you were insane. Ethan didn't answer. He pulled Lily's picture from his wallet, staring at her little smile. That tattoo hadn't just stopped 12 Marines. It had reminded him who he was. Not just a soldier. Not just a broken man. But a father. A survivor. And someone strong enough to turn rage into redemption.